Now, the National Assembly resurfaced from its recess to give a nod to President Uhuru Kenyatta's economic stimulus package to cushion the nation against the ravages of the COVID-19 pandemic. The August House approving the reduction of value-added tax on taxable goods and services from 16% to 14% and the review of the income tax. But the House was critical of the National Treasury on the VAT move, terming it as a populist move that will have a negative impact on the country's economy and on its balance sheet.
Despite approving the country's economic stimulus package, the National Assembly was critical of the National Treasury for what they described as misguiding the president on the reduction of VAT from 16 to 14%. An economic move MPs say is flawed and likely to cost the country billions of shillings.
By this particular proposal, Honorable Speaker, we are going to lose revenues to the tune of 49.5 billion shillings in one quarter. Maybe we should have been asking ourselves, would we rather have these 49.5 billion shillings and be able to offer food rations to the people of Kenya?
That perhaps is a very good populist move, but in another 2-3 months, the Treasury will realize that they made a mistake on this one.
The reduction of VAT is supposed to cushion Kenyans from the vagaries of COVID-19 on the country's economy. But MPs poked holes on the government directive, warning that if not checked, it will not serve its purpose but instead have a negative impact on the country's balance sheet.
Mr. Speaker, reduction of VAT without corresponding price controls is never effective. Reduction in VAT in a situation where we leave the pricing of goods to the forces of demand and supply outside there is not effective.
We want to caution some unscrupulous business people, Mr. Speaker. For one reason or another, the trickle-down effect of 2% is not going to be affected.
Kenya's corporate giants also came under sharp criticism from parliamentarians. The big corporates, always boasting of posting billions of shillings in profits annually, accused of failing their social responsibility by giving the COVID-19 emergency fund a wide berth. So far, corporate bank has contributed 100 million shillings, Devke Group donated oxygen worth 100 million shillings, Hindu Council of Kenya donating another 100 million shillings, among others. But Kenya's notable big corporate players are missing in action at the country's hour of critical financial aid.
How can you be milking people all year and declaring unimaginable profits, Mr. Speaker, and when the country needs you most, Mr. Speaker? In where I come from, they say you have a snake in your pocket.
In the Senate, the ad hoc committee on COVID-19 chaired by Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja has originated the Pandemic Response and Management Bill. The bill, among others, seeks to institutionalize socio-economic protective measures. In case of loans and mortgages, the bill proposes that a borrower shall enter into an agreement to review their payment modalities with the financial institution. No penalties should be imposed on the defaulter during the pandemic period, and the defaulter should not be listed on the Credit Reference Bureau. Measures applicable up to at least 3 months after the end of the pandemic. In payment of rent, the bill proposes that a tenant should give a written notice to the landlord indicating their inability to meet their rent obligations, and upon receipt of the notice, the landlord shall enter into an agreement with the tenant on how the tenant shall meet their rent obligations after the pandemic. At the work environment, the bill prohibits employers from sacking their employees during the pandemic period. Sam Ogina, Citizen TV, Nairobi.